Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the person you are becoming tomorrow is determined by what you choose to believe about yourself today? Have you ever wondered why some people rise from nothing while others never move beyond their circumstances? Tonight, I want to share a truth that changed countless lives. You must believe before you become. There was a young black American teenager named Marcus who carried a dream that nobody could see. Not his teachers. Not his friends. Not even his own family. Every time he spoke about his future, people smiled politely, but deep down they expected very little from him. Marcus grew up surrounded by limitations. The streets around him were filled with people who had stopped believing in their own possibilities. Every day he watched dreams shrink into excuses and ambition disappear into survival. And slowly, something dangerous began happening. He started believing the same story everyone else believed about him. One afternoon, after receiving another disappointing report card, Marcus walked home with his head down. He felt embarrassed. He felt defeated. He felt like the future belonged to everyone except him. As he sat alone on a park bench, an elderly man noticed him and sat nearby. After a few moments of silence, the man asked a simple question. "Son, why do you look like someone who has already lost a battle that hasn't even started yet?" Marcus looked at him and replied, "Because I don't think I have what it takes. I don't think I'm smart enough. I don't think I'm good enough." The old man smiled and shook his head. Then he said something Marcus would never forget. "The bird does not trust the branch. The bird trusts its wings." For a moment Marcus was silent. The old man continued, "You have spent your entire life measuring your future by your current circumstances. But circumstances are temporary. Belief is what changes them." Those words struck Marcus like lightning. Because for the first time, he realized he had been waiting to become successful before believing in himself. But every successful person does the opposite. They believe first. Then they become. That night Marcus went home, took a piece of paper, and wrote down a sentence. "I will become an engineer." The sentence felt strange. It felt unrealistic. It felt impossible. But every morning he read it anyway. Not because it was true yet, but because he wanted it to become true someday. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Nothing magical happened overnight. The challenges remained. The failures continued. The doubt still visited him. But one thing changed. Marcus stopped identifying with his limitations and started identifying with his possibilities. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," he began saying, "I am learning this." Instead of saying, "People like me never succeed," he began saying, "Why not me?" Instead of seeing obstacles as stop signs, he started seeing them as training grounds. And little by little, his life began to shift. His grades improved. His confidence grew. His discipline strengthened. His vision expanded. Years later, Marcus stood on a graduation stage receiving an engineering degree. People celebrated the degree. But Marcus understood something deeper. The degree was not where his success began. His success began years earlier, on the day he chose to believe before he became. Teenagers, listen carefully. The world teaches you to believe after you see results. But greatness teaches you to believe before results arrive. Believe before the applause. Believe before the opportunity. Believe before the breakthrough. Believe before the evidence. Because every achievement is created twice. First in the mind. Then in reality. The truth is that somebody listening to me right now has already talked themselves out of their own future. You have convinced yourself that your dream is too big. Your circumstances are too difficult. Your background is too limiting. Your chances are too small. But what if you are wrong? What if the person you are meant to become is waiting on the other side of one decision? The decision to believe. Remember this. An oak tree begins as an acorn. A building begins as a blueprint. A victory begins as a vision. And every extraordinary life begins with belief. So do not wait until you become successful to believe in yourself. Believe now. Believe while you are struggling. Believe while you are learning. Believe while you are failing. Believe while nobody else sees your potential. Because one day the world will call you successful. But long before that day arrives, you must make a choice. You must believe before you become. And if you have ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or unseen, tell me in the comments. What dream are you still refusing to give up on?